Welcome to Audacious Freedom Podcast, episode number 7. I've called this one Getting Dressed Up, Staying Fit, and Feeling Sexy for Myself. I'm your host, Dee Dee Mendez. I'm a storyteller, a perpetual student of self-development, and an audacious life liver, among many other areas of expertise and interests. I am most recently the founder of audaciousfreedom.com. I come to you, my listeners, with stories about what I learn, read, observe, and experience in the world today. I am inspired by so many other storytellers, and I'm told I inspire others as well with my own stories. I come to you with this topic today because last night we celebrated the 55th birthday of one of my high school friends. She's the third out of 4 of us to turn 55 in 2021. We graduated from high school 37 years ago in 1984. So fucking hard to believe it's been that many years. Our high school was actually a secondary school. It was grades 7th through 12th grades. And it was in 7th grade when I learned that the popular girls wore designer jeans, not the Levi's that I wore that I thought were a big deal. And they had cute haircuts and wore makeup. I wanted to be like them, but our family didn't have the budget for designer jeans, and I didn't have the kind of hair that could be feathered on either side of your face. If those of you could only listen to me, can't see the kind of finger movement I'm making with my right hand on the right side of my face. I also didn't have a mom who cared about fashion, hairstyles, or makeup, so I was alone to figure out how to fit in with the way that I looked. I would say that by 11th grade, I sort of found my own style. Madonna had come on the scene, and I wore cut-off gloves like she did and had my hair cut into a faux hawk, as in not really a mohawk haircut, because I had curly hair and the sides of my head were not completely shaved bald. They were just cut short on both sides of my head, and which was shorter than the hair that ran down the middle of my head from my forehead down to the nape of my neck. I wore eye makeup, including eyeliner and mascara, wore my fingernails long and always painted them, and maybe I wore a little blush and lip gloss, I think. I was feminine and a little punk chic. I'm just now making up that phrase, punk chic. In my class of almost 800 students, I'm quite sure that I was the only girl who dressed this way. If I couldn't look like the popular girls with their Farrah Fawcett hair and Jordache jeans, I would create my own unique style. When my friends and I would go to parties or go dancing and drinking in Georgetown on Saturday nights, I remember that sometimes some of us would try to dress sexy, quote unquote, to get the attention of men. Short, tight dresses and high heels. Mostly, I think we dressed up for each other, just like the Van Morrison song, Wild Night. I love that song. And in my 20s, when I was married, I tried to keep up with fashion, nothing high end because that wasn't in my budget then either, and to present myself with, and maybe with a little bit of a fashion edge at work and in my social life. I can remember for work, and now we're getting into the 1990s, there was a style I found where I could wear like a shortish printed skirt with tights and matching colored flats and aligned solid color short sleeve blazer, something professional and feminine at the same time. After my divorce in my early 30s, I was the most fit and thin I'd ever been and could look great in literally anything. My favorite store to shop in for my going out clothes was Guess. Always the best jeans, dresses, skirts, tops, and jackets there. Everything fit me perfectly and hung off my body perfectly. And I was definitely dressing up for the attention from the men I was dating and for anyone new I might meet. Then in my early 40s, after I'd given birth to my daughter, I was also in really great shape. Breastfeeding people takes all of the fat out of your body and feeds it to your baby. My daughter loved to eat, and when she was born, she weighed at a normal and healthy 7 pounds, 11 ounces. And by the time she was 5 weeks old, she was 15 pounds. Now, normally a baby doubles their birth weight at about 6 months old. My daughter did so at about a month old. Anyway, I dressed professionally for work and sort of cute in my social life. I was doing it for myself and for my own self-pride, not to attract men. Then in my late 40s, and when we moved from New York City to the Washington, D.C. area, where I'm from originally, I reconnected with former high school classmates, especially other women who are now single after divorces and who I would go out with. The mission, I think, was to sort of organically find single men to date. But I don't think that ever happened where one of us met someone while we were all out together. We did go through and use many of the dating apps, and we presented ourselves as best we could to market ourselves to men with our photos and with the descriptions of ourselves. It was a mission to find a man, and I, went on many dates because that's what the women I knew were doing. No one likes to or wants to be single. Our self-worth, my self-worth, is tied up in my lovability. So for those dates, I dressed cute, sexy, and put my absolute best self forward as an object to men. Men, most of whom I did not find that attractive. Men who were short. Look, I know I'm only 5'1", but I do like a tall man. Short men just aren't that attractive to me. They have little hands, not big, strong man hands. Even my ex-husband had good hands. Many of these men were not fit, definitely not as fit as I was and I am now. Some had bellies, man boobs even, and didn't seem to notice or be ashamed that I had shown them up in the fitness department. And some of the men I dated friends of mine or friends of friends. Some friends asked me about the men I dated because they were now matched up with the same men. There seemed to be a small pool of single men and a much bigger pool of single women. Most of us women were more attractive and fit than the men, and we went out with them and dressed up for them anyway. I went out with and dressed up for them anyway. They were all pretty much fun to hang out with and get drinks and dinners out with. Most of them were in it all for sex, and most weren't looking for anything serious. Many of them had been burned by their exes, who often stayed in the marital home with the kids, and they took on an apartment for themselves and for their kids to visit them. I listened to a lot of complaining, and still I chose to spend maybe an evening or two a week away from my daughter, leaving her usually on a play date with another mom I trusted, while I would dress up for men I wasn't very attracted to physically, and who had low emotional intelligence and who were processing the demise of their marriages and having to pay for two households, alimony, and child support. I rarely even felt physically seen and appreciated for my sexiness or cuteness or fitness, let alone for all of my academic and professional successes. I allowed myself to be objectified with no real prize at the end. A few dates, a few drinks and dinners, waiting for someone to really see and know and cherish me, and that guy didn't show up for me. I watched my friends date one person at a time, longer term, for a year or two, then break up, usually badly. And what was it all for? To try again with the next dating app match? At some point, just as I was approaching 50, I decided I was done with it all. I had no interest in dating and waiting and hoping for a match on an app and making sure the matches hadn't dated anyone I knew and dressing up for them and marketing myself to them and not being attracted to them physically or intellectually. And in being disappointed in them for not being more. So in these last 5 years or so, my wardrobe has never been more fun, more playful, more sexy, more me. And people notice all the time, my friends, strangers while I'm out, and it's mostly women who say something with their words and men who say something with their eyes. I won't lie, I like being noticed and even maybe a little objectified. I like it as validation that I have found the right sort of look. That look for me now at 55 is a uniquely Dee look like the one I had at 16 or 17, because I'm the only one I know with this look. I love a good free people sundress that shows a lot of boob, and fabulous flat sandals and statement earrings or bracelets and my naturally silver hair. off of my face and sprayed with extra brightening silver color, and makeup highlights on my cheeks and above my eyebrows on either side of my nose. I loved last night's outfit with my gold jeans and my Star Wars t-shirt, these same fancy funky earrings I'm wearing right now, and a chunky pearl bracelet. I dress like this for me. I feel sexy for me. When men try to flirt with me, and they do, I don't get pulled in. I smile and say yes. One man last weekend said, I just have to say you look fabulous. You look great. Your hair, your dress. And I say, yes, I do. This playful man ended up at the next bar across from me and came over to my side of the bar and said, you're famous. I just know you're famous. And I said, yes, I am. And then I said, are you okay to get home? You're not driving, are you? No, he said, I just live right there, and pointed across the little park in our community. Another time in my life, I might have said, let's go. It'd be fun to go home with you. But no, not now. Now at 55, I'm fabulous. I'm fabulous, and I don't need or want to be with a man or anyone. I stay fit and fashionable for myself and to show my daughter and the daughters of everyone that our value and worth is not up to a man to decide or for society to decide what makes our lives full. Being part of a couple or having a date on Saturday night doesn't have to be our goal at any age. My goal is to have fun and to be free. In my free time, I like to allow room for spontaneity and have a few scheduled social events to look forward to. I don't have to defer to anyone in a relationship or to compromise or to please anyone else. I make all the decisions about who I socialize with and who I don't. There are no in-laws or other obligatory get-togethers. There's no expectation of a date or a significant other to notice and like my outfit and fitness. I notice and like what I'm wearing, and I see the results of my strength training. I do this for myself. I like myself. This has been Dee Dee Mendez with Audacious Freedom, the podcast. Thank you for listening, and I can't wait for next time.